group of climbers were scaling walls 20 to 30 feet high near a trail where the other visitors were walking, and a number stopped to watch. The instructor, seeing them, asked the young man if he wanted to try. "Sure," was the response. The young man came over to the wall, and the instructor carefully explained where he was to put his hands and his feet, and instructed how to pull himself up and find the next foot or handhold. Instructions continued as progress was made up the face of the wall. 5 feet from the top, his toe slipped and he fell. About 6 inches. For you see, before he ever began climbing, a safety harness had been placed on him. After catching his breath and growing steady, he got back on the wall and continued until he reached the top. Now, I've never done rock climbing, but I can only imagine that the instant he was falling, with only a rope and another's expertise between him and the ground. That involves a lot of trust. If you listen to Ephesians 2, 8, and 9, it says, saving is all his idea, all his work. All we do is trust him enough to let him do it. It is God's gift from start to finish. We don't play the major role. If we did, we'd probably go around bragging that we'd done the whole thing. No, we neither make or save ourselves. God does the making and the saving. So do you have any walls to climb today? Or tomorrow? Or next week? Strap on the safety harness of God's grace and climb on. That's just as much for me as I'm sharing for you. Any prayer requests we can honor today? Praise reports? Hillary?
We have tomorrow.
OSCE remedes. Okay, so we're going to have OSCE remediations tomorrow, so we'll pray for you guys. Anyone else? Okay. Maddie.
Oh, praise report for Kayla Bollinger. She helped me and my partner Ariana for sealants, and she made us have a really wonderful experience in our lab.
Awesome. That means when you go to clinic with me that you'll be on top of it all.
I'll do my Kayla best.
Okay, cool. Thank you, Kayla, for doing that. Don't cry. All right, let's bow our heads before we begin. Father God, thank you again for another afternoon of learning more about our profession. Thank you for the many blessings that you give each one of us. And I just pray, especially for Kayla today, for her helpfulness to our students. I pray for the students that are remedying OSCEs tomorrow, that you be with each one of them. Help them to have calm minds and to recall the things that they've been studying for the last year. May this be a successful retest for them. Thank you so much. I pray especially for our speaker this afternoon, Joseph. I pray that you will bless him. May his words be words that will be helpful to each one of our students. We pray in your name. Amen. All right. So this afternoon, I have invited Joseph Cablayon from the Drayson Center. And so I have Joseph here. Joseph is a graduate from Cal State San Bernardino, and he has his degree in kinesiology. He also has his national certification for strength training as well. So if any of you need to build up some core, who told me last week I need core? Catalina.
I want abs.
You want abs? Okay, well, there's how you can take care of it. So Joseph works at the Drayson Center, and in the back is my trainer, Lynn. Say hi, Lynn. And so, and then she has another trainer in here, Mike, too. So all of them are available to, are you? Yeah? Oh, he's your supervisor. Oh, okay. That's okay. Anyways, all of you guys have access to these people as members of the Drayson. So I know they're going to talk a little bit about it. They've come in. They're going to give you some exercises to do between patients that will help you run through an 8-hour day. I know some of you are like at the end of 4 hours saying, oh, I'm exhausted. Well, try doing 8 hours. Last week I worked in research. I saw a patient every 20 minutes for 8 hours. And it was just bam, bam, bam. And they just had me cleaning people's teeth as fast as I could go. So it gets tiring. I was exhausted, truly exhausted. So there was 20 that I saw that day. But anyways, we're going to let Joseph take it away here, and I will get that set up. You can tell him a little bit more about you, and I'll
All right,
get you on.
so I just graduated from Cal State, as Shirley just mentioned, with a degree in kinesiology, Bachelor of Science, emphasis in exercise science. So originally I wanted to be a strength and conditioning coach, work with athletes, but I interned at UCR. I have over like 600 hours. I didn't really like it as much because a lot of the athletes, they don't appreciate what I do. So I was like, working at the Drayson Center, I get to work with the geriatric population. So they appreciate more of what I do than just the athletes, because the athletes are what, like 18 to 22 years old, so they're really young. So they're just like, oh, I'm just doing what I need to do to just get by. But I didn't really like see myself working with people in that field later on. All right, so show of hands, who here likes to help people? Okay, who here likes to, eventually make money and help people? If you didn't raise your hand, it's either you're shy or you hit arm day and you're just sore, okay? So today, I'll be talking about ergonomics. Does anyone know what ergonomics is? Yeah, can you just do that? Thank you. Anybody? Yeah, no? Yeah, okay. All right, go ahead. So, ergonomics is the study of people's efficiency and being able to just be comfortable in the work environment. If we don't have ergonomics and properly being able to train our coworkers or just everyone working in the company, you won't be able to be successful, and eventually you'll get injured, fatigued, and possibly be absent, not making the the money that you want to make. All right, go ahead and next one. Next one. All right, so first one we're going to do is talk about is the ergonomic benefits. So productivity and quality. So being able to put out a product, and what are we? We're dental students, correct? So being able to
Hygiene.
Oh, hygiene students. Okay, sorry about that. Dental hygienist students. So being able to work with our clients, clean their teeth. If you're not able to clean their teeth properly, then we're gonna have an upset client. Eventually, they're not gonna be able to want to come back to you or refer you to their family and friends, right? So being able to have good posture, being able to have less exertion on yourself, and being able to have fewer motions on workstation will provide you less fatigue with your muscles, which will eventually provide you with good productivity and good quality in the work environment. All right, so the next one would be employee engagement. So being able to work with your coworkers in the same environment, having that good social construct of just everyone's on the same page. If you don't have that, then eventually someone's going to get hurt. But if everyone communicates well, works well with each other, then there's going to be a less probability of someone being fatigued, discomforted, or being able to just not come to work. And we want to come to work and help people, right? That's why we're in this field. Okay. All right, the next one I'm going to go ahead and talk about is risk factors. So there's a couple of risk factors that we need to focus on and zone in on. So the first one would be high task repetition. So this one is doing something repetitively and being fatigued. So say like we're sitting down and working on a client's mouth and our wrists are constantly flexed, right? That's going to put a lot of tension on the wrists. And if you're not stretching it or working out your wrists, eventually you're going to get hurt because of the high task repetition our wrists call for, okay?
So what do you do that is repetition in your, exactly. So this motion, that's our motion. And we do it every day.
So for the next one, it's going to be called forceful exertions. So working with dental tools, it has some sort of vibration to it, correct? Okay, so if you're working with these forceful exertions, eventually that vibration is going to go to our wrists, and our wrists are tiny little joints, not compared to like our thighs over here, our pelvis, hips right here. It's bigger muscles, right? So forceful exertions on the vibration of the wrist will eventually take its toll, and we need to be mindful of that because eventually you're going to get MSDs, which are stands for musculoskeletal disorders. Okay, so for the next one is repetitive, sustained, awkward postures. So the reason why I bring this up is because we're working with clients, right, and they're sitting in a chair and we're sitting in a chair, correct? So when you're sitting in a chair, you don't want to have your client too far where you're just reaching awkwardly forward, right? You want to be able to be in a comfortable position, sitting upright, not too hunched over where it puts a lot of stress on the lower back, which I will eventually talk about more, and also neck strain, which I know a lot of us suffer from. All right, so, you're good. Oh, yeah. All right, so there's some conditions that we will possibly get. Carpal tunnel syndrome. Does anyone know what that is? Yeah, what is it?
Carpal tunnel syndrome? When you can move your hand right because of the muscles.
Yeah, so it puts a lot of compression on the median nerve right here. So you're going to eventually feel numbness, and possibly you won't be able, you'll have some tingling sensations in your thumb, your index finger, and your middle fingers in both hands. All right, and then
Does anyone have any numbness in their hands? Now?
Good.
At all? Yes, they're all feeling, no?
Nice.
Still.
All right, tendinitis, and then we have tension neck syndrome, and then sciatica. Next one, please. All right, so I provided some statistics with early retirement among people that are dentists. So one of them, the main one that we're discussing, is the musculoskeletal disorders, which comes at 29.5, followed closely by cardiovascular disease. That's the #1 prevalent killer in the country also. So be mindful of that. So if we're able to strengthen and also condition our bodies, it'll knock down 1 and 2 together. Because we're working on getting more in shape, we're working on that endurance in our muscles and joints. So eventually, those will go away. I just provide those other ones just so if anyone has questions like, oh, what are the other statistics behind that? So I provide those. So this one's going to provide type of MSD, so musculoskeletal disorders, the main ones, lower back pain. So lumbar flexion, does everyone know where their lumbar is at? Lower back, right? Good. Rotating, a lot of rotation, increased risk to the lumbar disc. So unnecessary movements when you're twisting will cause that lower back pain. And then also this, a lot of people don't know this, but exacerbated, so too much force, inflexibilities in the hips and pelvis will also give you lower back pain. So if you have tight hips, tight pelvises, that'll eventually lead to that. And then also weak gluteal muscles and abdominal muscles. So going further along with this, glute muscles. So everyone knows that there's 3 glute muscles, correct? Medius, maximus, minimus. So the main ones that we need to focus on are, of course, all of them, but the one that doesn't get worked on a lot, that a lot of people need to focus on, is the medius muscle. Because that, like when we squat and exercise, I don't know if any of you noticed, but when you squat, your knees tend to go in a little. That's because that medius muscle is weak, so we need to work on that. And I'm going to provide an exercise that you can do that will help strengthen that. All right, and then abdominal muscles, because we need that strong support, that strong core to be able to balance and coordinate ourselves, correct? Okay. Next one is upper back pain. So this one is contributed from what? Caving in too much, right? So as dentists, hygienists, so we're constantly going forward, right, like this. We need to work on that posterior chain, so the part in the back, so every muscle in the back. A couple would be like latissimus dorsi, rhomboids, erector spinae. You need to strengthen all those, some hamstrings, to be able to have good posture. Because if you don't work on those, you're just going to cave in, and eventually you have upper back pain, so we have to strengthen those upper body muscles as well. So the last one I'm going to talk about is wrist and hand problems. So that was the most prevalent thing that I've been discussing to you guys, correct? So constant flexion and extension of the motions will eventually cause these problems in our wrists and our hands. Working too little or too little rest can cause this, which makes sense, right? Any muscle we're working on, you're gonna get fatigued, eventually hurt yourself. And I have some wrist exercises later too. So, all right. So early treatment of MSDs. So always maintain an erect posture. What is erect posture? Does anyone know what that is? Good. So in the kinesiology world, we like to call it neutral spine. So keeping a neutral spine, keeping your back straight. So when I would train my athletes, I would tell them to keep a big chest, bring that scapula back, don't cave in, and then maintain a good posture. You know, so like when we do squats, you always want to maintain good posture. You don't want to do this, right? Curve the back. You know, you're gonna look like the Hunchback of Notre Dame if you do that. All right. So also minimizing excessive wrist movements. So if you don't have to move your wrists, then don't do it. Only if you need to. Okay. All right. And then getting an adjustable chair that works on that keeps the thoracic, lumbar, and then your arm support. That's really key and important to preventing these MSDs. And then working close to your body, as I mentioned earlier. So you don't want to work too far away where you start creating awkward postures. Okay? And then avoiding the excessive finger movements that you guys have, right? Yeah? Okay. All right. So this is the portion where it's going to be hands-on. So if all of you could participate, we're going to do some of these exercises. Yeah.
It's hard because this
That's
is
fine.
a slant.
Can I get Monina over here? All right. So does everyone know what these exercises are? Have you guys seen all these? Okay. So what's this one called? It's called a that's called a bird dog. Yeah. So
Let's see it, Monina.
So you're gonna get a tabletop position. So I'll do it with you. So you're gonna be here, tabletop position, okay? Yep. So we'll raise our left. So we're gonna raise our left arm, okay? Right leg. Make sure this right leg stays straight, and you don't point your foot this way, but you point it down towards the ground, okay? That's really important because you're using your hamstring muscle when you do that. Okay, so after that, you want to balance, brace that core, squeeze it, and then bring in that elbow and that knee at the same time. Okay, and then bring it back out. Okay, so when you do that, you're working on your core, you're working on the hips, and then you're working on the glute and your hamstrings. It's a good workout if you don't like to do crunches. I don't like doing crunches. All right, next one will be a hip bridge. So this one, I'm gonna do this one. I'm gonna stand up and show you. All right. So, for this one, you're going to be in a supine position, okay? You're going to be on the back. People that can't see, she's laying down, okay? She's not cheating. All right, so you have your knees pointed up, feet down, hands to the side. You're going to bring your hips up off the ground, okay, towards the ceiling, and you want to squeeze your glutes. But when you do this, you want to make sure that you're not going too high where you start feeling in your lower back. If you're doing that, then you're doing the movement wrong, okay? So up and down, and make sure you squeeze your glutes. All right. So the next one is going to be called a dead bug.
Right, did you do it, Monina?
Yes, she did. She did.
It's got to be way up. Doesn't it have to be high?
Yeah, as long as you don't feel it, as long as you're not feeling in your lower back, you're good. All right. So the dead bug exercise. You're going to have your arms pointed up, legs up, knees bent. Okay, good. So we're going to go ahead and do the opposite. So it's just like the bird dog. So you're going to do the opposite arm, opposite leg. Yep, so left arm goes up, right leg goes straight, and then you're going to alternate. So do a couple. Where do you feel that?
The core.
Good. Give her a round of applause, everyone. She's participating. All right. So next one. You're going to stay for all.
Okay.
Yeah. Can you switch to can you switch? You get a little workout.
All right.
All right, so this one. So, does anyone know why I put a reverse lunge in there instead of a front lunge, a forward lunge?
Lower back.
So the reason why, that's part of it. The reason why is because the patella tendon, does everyone know what that is? Yeah. So when you go forward, you're putting a lot of stress this part, the patella tendon. If you go backward, not only are you decreasing the tension off of it, the pressure, but you're also required to have more balance and coordination. Because you're going backwards, it's not, we don't usually walk like this, right? Hey guys, we walk forward. So, yeah, so that's why we're doing a reverse lunge. So reverse lunge is you're going to have your feet here. Okay, good. And step back. Good. And then come back up.
Oh man, I always do it in the forward and my knees because
Yeah.
I've had 4 knee surgeries.
Try reverse lunges.
Cool.
Yeah. All right. So the next one. So this one's called the clamshell. Does everyone know what that is? Good. So this is the exercise that's going to hit the gluteus medius muscle. The muscle I told you where it prevents knee valgus for your knee coming in this way, right, when we squat. So if you do this, I usually do this personally, 2 sets of 15 just to warm up, but I do it with the bands, okay? So I put bands above the knees, and it hits the glute muscle really good, and it also works on the hips and the pelvis, just like the inflexibilities I was talking about for lower back pain. So yeah, you want to try that? On the side. Good. Arm, that's good. Yep. Slip the leg, back down. Good. Just give me like 5 of those. You feeling your glute?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Yeah. Good to a girl. All right. So last one. So this woman over here, she's doing something called a Superman exercise. Have we even done those before? Yeah. So this exercise is really good for what? Lower back, right? Lower back, glutes, a little bit of shoulders because you're raising the arm up, so you're like squeezing it. And then also you're working the hamstrings as well, just a little bit. What you're gonna do is arm stretched out, legs straight. Go ahead and go up and down. Good. Feel that?
Yeah.
Good. I mean, she's feeling in the right way. All right. Go ahead. Next slide, please. All right. So exercises for the wrist. So I'm gonna go ahead. If you want to try it, I have some more dumbbells if you guys want to try it.
Pull somebody else if you want.
Anyone else want to volunteer? All right. Thank you. Maybe, yeah.
She's gonna do it.
Okay. What's your name?
Hannah.
Hannah? Cool. All right. What do you want? You want a 2 pound, a 3 pound, or a 4 pound?
15 pounds.
15 pound? But this? All right. All right. Okay. Go ahead and sit down right here.
She wants to do it too.
Oh, you want to do 2? Okay. Go ahead and get a 4 or 2. All right. So, is there another chair for you?
No, it's okay.
Okay. So basically, what you're gonna do is scoot back a little bit. So you're gonna put your wrist right above your knee, like this. Good.
Wrist?
Yep. And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna go up, hold it for 2 seconds, go back down. So you're gonna give me like 5 of those. Try that out. It's 2. It's 3. So just try to just lift the wrist, not the forearm. 4, 5. All right. Go ahead and flip your hand the other way. 1.
So don't lift your hand
2.
off, but just do
Yeah,
like this.
just keep your arm on there and just lift your wrist. You feel that?
Yeah.
Good.
She's
So
good.
good. So I didn't put this other one up there, but what you can do is grab the end of it, just the end, this way. Like you're gonna have it out that way.
Have this up?
Yeah. So like this.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Oh, that's
So what you do is you go this way, like this. Yep.
So
Yeah.
supinate, pronate.
Supinate, pronate.
Oh,
That one's a good
I
one.
don't like that.
All right, and then also you can hold it like that again. Hold it like this, and go this way. Invert.
So tell them specifically what these exercises will do to strengthen their knee. What is it doing? Which muscles are we?
So it's working on all like your forearm muscles, and then that wrist joint. So all the locomotion, right? All the range of motion in your joints. Yeah, try those. Did you guys try them just doing this without weights? It's really good. All right, can I? Thank you.
Thank you.
Give a round of applause, everybody. Can I get the next slide, please? Okay. I have some apples over here. Does anyone want to try these exercises?
Right here.
Catch it. Apple. You get an apple.
Nice catch. That's a good catch.
Almost. Can you get that for me, please?
Let me get one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't
can
bring
share.
a lot for everyone, but go ahead and share if you can.
Here.
Oh, nice
Sorry,
try.
That's your sample.
Okay. Thank you. I have this one for a sample, but I'm gonna show you. So just share amongst yourselves. Okay, so the first one, basically, you're just gonna hold it here, your arm, okay? And just squeeze it. Squeeze it for like 10 seconds. Okay. Okay. How's that feel? Is it hard? Working the forearm? Good. Switch hands. Tough? I've been working out for a while. Alright. Don't hurt yourself if you can't do it. Don't hurt yourself. Okay. Next one we're gonna do, so you can keep trying that if you like. The next one we're gonna do is we're gonna face. So this one we're always gonna face our fingers towards our body, okay? So the first one we're gonna do, we're gonna put the top of our hand towards us, like this. Okay?
Do we have to stand?
That pressure. You'll feel it more if you stand up.
Okay.
Feel that? Try to keep your arm straight too and try not to bend it. If you keep it straighter, you'll feel it straight going down that forearm.
Wait, how do you? Yeah.
You guys feel that?
Mm-hmm.
Probably like self-jointed. Okay. Alright, next one we're gonna do, we're gonna face our palms down now, fingers towards us.
That feels
This
good.
one's really good for the forearm, it stretches your...
Does that feel good after clinic?
Yeah.
So you can do this in between patients as well, you know. Just hold it a little bit, like 5 to 10 seconds. Good stuff. Alright, last one we're gonna do on this slide. So you're gonna put the ball on the table or your desk anywhere, and you're just gonna roll it. So has any has anyone done a foam roll to warm up when they exercise? It's basically a small foam roll for your arms. Those are good.
This is kind of slippery.
Usually you use lacrosse balls, but I don't have like...
I'll do it on here on the paper. It's better.
But you use a cricket ball, cross ball. And you got the next slide. Okay, can I get a volunteer for this one, please?
Go, Brian. Brian, where are you going, Brian?
Anyone?
I'm already sitting down.
Please, you're just gonna... Class president! Alright, alright, so first one you're gonna do, you're gonna step on it. What? So, step on it. Oh, I hear that. Good. Can you give him a side view? Yeah. He's modeling for me. Alright, so she's stepping on both the bands, right? The band, both sides. So you're gonna bend at the knees, okay? You're gonna bring this. Happen? Okay. Oh, okay.
Sorry, I tried to say it, but it's too late.
Alright, so bend at the knees. You're gonna point those hips back, so you're gonna hip hinge, okay? Keep your back straight. Good, neutral spine. Arms to the side, and pull up and squeeze. Where are you feeling that? You got it. You got the right form. Where are you feeling that at? Good, back. Let's do this door side a little bit. Yeah, she's gonna feel that in her upper back. So we got rhomboids. We got, what else did you say you felt that? Your upper back, scapula. Good. Good. So next one.
So if they don't have those,
They can always use dumbbells as well. But this is a good way to do it without hurting themselves.
So
'cause
are
the
you
dumbbells has too
saying
much strength.
dumbbells like this? So just
Yeah,
saying
so here
this?
and then here. So not that low. So just bend at the knees a little bit. Point your hips back. Good. And then back straight. So straight like this. So stick your chest out like you're trying to show the muscles. Yeah, there you go. Like this. Woo! Alright. Thank you.
No, these guys.
Alright.
that's actually impressive.
This is so impressive. I love it. Bicep curl.
You work out, Miss Lee?
She should teach the class. All right.
I have a trainer.
If you can move tomorrow, it's not our fault. You see?
All right.
I'm going on
So
vacation tomorrow.
for the next one, the middle one, this one's gonna work out your posterior deltoid in the back too, and then also those rhomboids right here. So you're gonna be here, right? And you're gonna pull apart. Okay. This one's really good. I use this to warm up when I need to hit shoulders or like chest day. Okay. That one's really good. Anyone want to try that?
Catalina.
I'll leave it right here between your minds. All right. So for the next one, I know a lot of us have done this. It's a reverse fly exercise. Does anyone want to try that up here?
So Brian.
Reverse fly with some shoulders.
Come on, Brian, you're right there.
I'm not flexible. Okay. Okay. All right.
What do you want to do? You want to just do fours?
I'll do the lightest one.
All right. So you're gonna do the same exact positioning. So you're gonna bend at the knees. All right.
Okay.
Point your hips back. Good. Back straight. Good. Big chest. Arms flat. Good. And lift your arms. And make sure you're squeezing this part right here.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Do you feel that?
Yeah.
Good. And back down.
All right.
Give me like 5 reps.
All right.
2,
There you go.
3, 5. Good.
All right.
How's that feel? Yeah. All right. So I didn't put the exercise on here. I didn't put the exercise on the slide, but the reason why I brought the 15s is because there's this exercise I like to do. It's called a farmer carry. Does anyone know what that is?
Farmer.
So you're gonna hold it to your sides. So usually you just hold a heavy weight and you walk a certain distance. You're gonna turn around and walk back a certain distance. Does anyone want to try that? That's why I brought the 15s. Does anyone want to try that?
Christian.
Come on, Christian. Alright, what are we gonna do? So the reason why I do this exercise because it maintains good posture. It's an exercise that works on multiple muscle groups. You're gonna hit the deltoids, your shoulders. You're gonna work that lower back, the upper back, because you have to maintain good posture. Work that core. It's gonna work some glutes too. Go ahead. So you're just gonna walk all the way there. Walk straight.
Damn,
You
natural.
want to make sure your posture is good the whole time.
Okay, back straight.
And then walk back this way. Be proud.
Say it with the chest.
Good. Alright. How'd that feel?
Pretty good. Yeah, I mean, heavier. I mean, I can do heavier.
Yeah.
Oh.
Man, next time.
Next
Grayson
time
Center, I see you. We'll
Alright.
work out together. Can I get the next slide, please? Okay, so these are really important because what? Reduces neck strain, right? We're constantly decreasing the angle, correct? Right? When we're working with our patients. All right, so does anyone want to demonstrate some of those? You don't have to if you want to. I'll do it. Okay, I'll do it. All right,
Kevin, let's
so,
go.
all right.
Kevin.
I'm not gonna make you do that bottom one because you have to put your.
That looks painful.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. We'll just do this one. Okay, this one right here. That one's called a cat cow. So that one. We'll get there. I'll let you do all these. All right. So the cat cow one. What you're gonna do is you're gonna get in a tabletop position, so in your hands and your knees. Okay.
And get on your hands. There you go.
Good. So you're gonna arch that back. So lift that back up. Good. So when you do that, you inhale, and then when you straighten that back, so straighten your back up. Good. You're gonna exhale. You feel it in your lower back right here?
Yeah, I did.
Good. So do a couple of those. Straighten it. Good.
Ow.
How's that feel? Does it hurt? A little bit? Okay, so when you do this, you want to do it slow and controlled, not too like forceful, because that's how we're gonna like hurt ourselves rather than make ourselves, better and like healthier. So just do it slow and controlled. So next one, you want to do some shrugs?
Yeah, I'll do that.
All right, let's do some shrugs. So go ahead and give 15.
15 shrugs.
Ooh.
Keep strong. So what are we working on the shrugs? Does anyone know?
We don't know. Who's gonna shrug it out?
All right, so yeah, we're working the trapezius muscle, right? And they're working on what? The rhomboids a little bit too, in the back, upper back. Good. So it's gonna help maintain good posture. You feel that? All right, you want to do the last one, the neck one?
Oh, that's what I'm waiting.
Yeah. So Shirley told me that what she was, when was it? Dental school, your neck?
No, I was in a study for PT here at the school, and it's now a documented research study that people use. And I think I told you this before, but when I stand here, it's very easy for me to go this way, but I can hardly move that way because I've been doing this for 40 years. So if you sit there and you kind of tilt your ear towards your shoulder on your right, and then you tilt it back the other way, if you feel it foreshorten just a little bit? Okay, and you guys have only been doing this about a year. So keep stretching it back out the other way, so this will help you.
So we got some slides over here to practice that. So right here, you're gonna maintain that erect posture, right? So you're gonna lift that head up, okay? Just the head. Hold it for a little bit. Tilt your
So
head
everyone
back.
follow, tip your head back
All right.
and
hold that.
forward.
And go forward with the head. Straight down. You feel that? Good. So do like 2 more of those.
Jessica Bolanos.
Good. One more.
Do this.
Good stretch, everyone. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So the next one we're gonna do is we're gonna go this way, left, and then right. Left and right.
So is it better to hold it and stretch, or is it better to just keep moving it and stretch?
Well, depending. So like, I like doing the holds because you're feeling like your muscle actually stretching.
Okay.
Okay. If you do it really quick, it's just like I use that to warm up when I exercise.
Okay.
Just to get the blood flowing a little bit. So it's better to hold it a little.
So hold it to your dominant side. Hold it to your
Feel it more.
non-dominant side. Yeah.
Everyone could try it too. If you do it faster compared to holding, it was different, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I didn't provide the picture on here, but another one you could do is go this way. No. All right. Next slide, please. All right. So that's it. Those are my references, and this is where to find me. So that's at the Drayson Center. Right there. That's my fitness account on my Instagram.
That's funny.
So the O is actually a 0, but I don't know why it looks like that in the font. But Swole Like Joe with a 0 instead of an O. I work at the Drayson Center. You can find me there, and I'm also at this place called Class. It's a boutique gym, a UFC boutique gym. So I coach HIIT classes and I do boxing there. But it's all in Yorba Linda, so it's like on the other side. So if you guys ever want
live
to
there.
check it out, you guys get a free class. Go ahead and try it out.
Is that class off your La Palma?
It's by Gypsum Canyon.
Oh, okay.
It's like a little bit past the toll roads of the
Oh,
Grapevine.
yeah.
And then, could you play that video for me?
Oh,
quick?
there's a video.
So it's just me showing a farmer carry. I was at my favorite gym in LA. It's called Barbell Brigade. It's a powerlifting gym. I'm a powerlifter and I do Olympic lifts, so that's my specialty. And I used to do martial arts. I did Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. You're fine. I did Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu since I was 14. I got my black belt when I was 19. And then I did Muay Thai for a long time too. There's no sound on it, it's fine. So that's a more of an advanced farmer carry. That workout that I showed you. This is with it's called a trap bar. You just keep putting weights on there.
How much is that?
It's like 485 for
485 pounds?
yeah, something like that. Because the bar's 45 pounds, and then I had 5 45 plates on each side.
Oh man alive.
All right.
Like 2 of it.
Does anyone have any questions for me?
So some of the
Yeah, I did kickboxing. I focus more on Muay Thai because I like using elbows and knees, like utilizing my whole body. But yeah, kickboxing is good too. Yeah, I did some of that.
you know who's a really good kickboxer? Jeanette.
What?
Well, really?
And she competes in kickboxing.
What?
Yeah.
That's intense. I want to mess with Jeanette.
That's why she's so sweet, yeah? So,
Yeah, so on my fitness account, I barely started it, but I'm putting workout videos on there, and then sometimes on my story I put like funny videos like on my story. It's whatever. But yeah, you can catch me at Yorba Linda or Loma Linda University, the Drayson Center. I'll be there. I'm there mostly Tuesdays and Thursdays.
I have a question. So is it personal training that you're doing?
Yeah, I do personal training. I also teach a boot camp class in the morning at 5:30 a.m. if anyone wants to take that.
Oh man, come on.
What
dude.
about
It's a good class. It's a good class.
for the personal training? How much is it?
60 a session,
What's a session? 45?
an hour.
and the
So-
first one they do
Complimentary. Like showing like where your endurance is at, your muscular strength. So we do a lot of that. I also teach in in your personal training class. So I give you a workout and then we stretch after because when I did jiu-jitsu, I'm a big advocate in like stretching. So I didn't put the picture on there, but on my fitness account you can see that I can do the splits.
Really?
Do it.
Oh, I do it? I can do it.
Yeah.
I can do it.
Yeah.
All
You're
right, I'll
gonna
show
tear
you.
your pants?
No, mine are like stretchy.
Okay.
All right.
Take a picture.
All right.
Uh-oh.
Split on the table. Be here.
Whoa.
Save Mama Linda.
Left leg, okay.
There you go.
Ah.
So yeah, I've been stretching since I was like 14 years old.
Oh, now you can't hardly walk.
Any other questions for me?
All right, let's give Joseph a hand.
Thank you.
So if any of you want to ask Joseph some personal questions that you might have or any strengthening things, I know between patients, if you get between a door jam and do this to stretch out this, because our constant motion is to sit like this, okay? And so we need to stretch out this constantly. Okay, most of you know I dance hula too. When we're supposed to do a movement like this, my teacher is constantly saying, open it up, and I can't because I've been stuck like this. But they want us diagonally, or if I'm doing a movement like this for a dance, it's really hard for me. So start when you guys are young, because we never really studied ergonomics a lot. It wasn't a big deal when I was a student. Repetitive motion, we didn't have any of the carpal tunnel. I hadn't even heard of it when I was a student.
If we keep up really well with our fitness and stretching and everything, can we prevent having all the pain?
Absolutely, absolutely. Okay, so here's she asked whether or not keeping fit and being stretching could prevent any injuries. Yes, that's true. But here's the thing: in spite of whatever else I've had wrong, I have not had any carpal tunnel in 40 years. I have no injuries as far as being able to not work. Some of your faculty have. That's why that's why they're not practicing anymore. They're teaching. And I'm still working. Some of us are still working in private practice as well. So, and staying active. I mean, a lot of times you'll find me at the gym several times a week, either playing racquetball or pickleball or working out or whatever. So I know you think, oh, I don't have time for that, but you really have to make time for that because you got to get the blood flowing here in order to get that brain to work. And then you need the blood flowing in these muscles here and in your core in order to be able to do what you do. And I watch a lot of you scaling. I know sometimes you're afraid or you're not engaged, but I'm like, put that engage that instrument and push in and pull. The little strokes are like this. I go, stop playing in that pocket, scale that thing off. Okay, put that pressure. Okay, the more you kind of take these little strokes and not strong, more time you're wasting, just put the instrument in. Who did I work with today? I worked with someone today, and I just went like this, one stroke, and it just went poof. The instrument, the calculator just popped off. I wasn't even trying to. I was kind of trying to feel, but it just popped right off because I had just sharpened the instrument. So don't forget to do sharpening as well, because then you work harder than you need to. So, anyways.
What about the saddle chairs or like the chairs that come around the front type of thing? Is that better or is it?
So I worked in a saddle chair in private practice, and one of the offices that I worked in had a saddle chair, and those work fine. It forces you, because it's like shaped like a saddle, it forces you to sit up. You have to sit up straight. There's no way you could do this. The thing with that chair, though, is once you get in it, you have to stay in it. Now, we move all the way around the chair all the time, and I've almost fallen out of that chair a couple of times, but making sure that, but that forces the core to stick, because there's no other way to sit in that chair but straight up. So, good.
So I realized I put my neck more towards. What would be the best way to prevent? Because I can tell that I become a like turtleneck more like.
Okay, ask.
So try to bring them closer to you, or try to position your chair better, like closer to them, instead of going like this. If you do that, that's what eventually happens. You get that neck strain, or your posture starts.
So for that, it's putting your patient at the very top of your chair, have them scoot all the way up, so that when you're sitting there, that their head is sitting right between your legs, right here. I don't like to work like this. I'm sitting here, making sure you're looking down here. But what exercise is, Joseph?
The very first slide. So yeah, try to get like this, so you're not like hunching over. So I put that there. So try to remember that position every time when you're working with your client.
So what could she do exercise-wise to strengthen? Because I think it's your core. Your core is weak, so you want to do this. If your core is strong, then you're going to hold yourself up straight.
So that farmer carry that I showed, I'm a big advocate of that, because it hits multiple muscle groups, and it just makes you have to maintain a good posture. And that's going to strengthen your core, because you have to carry a heavy weight. So if you're like flimsy, you're just going to like do this. You got to keep that good posture. And then also that bird dog exercise is good, and then Russian
So
twist.
like this?
Yeah.
Or
Russian
like this?
twists are really good too.
I understand the exercise that you showed, but how about if your muscles are already tight?
So that's why stretching helps out a lot. So what, like, give me an example.
In terms of stretches for the lower back.
So a lower back stretch, I didn't show it on here, but some of them I showed, like the cat-cow one, where we're doing this, that one, and then this one's really good too, reaching. And then there's one where you do this, that one's good too.
All yoga.
Yep. I used to do this for jiu-jitsu. So.
I'm just saying yoga.
Oh, I never done this.
You should. You'd like
What stretches do you recommend like for your hip?
All right, so hip ones, this is really good. So you're gonna put your hands right here, like this. So you're gonna evert this left leg, invert this right leg. Okay. When you get better, you can do it with no hands. And then when you get even stronger, you can come up, squeeze your glute, go back down, do the other way. Okay. So it's really gonna work the pelvis and the hips a lot, and the glutes. Okay.
Good questions. Anyone else? It's really important. I'm going to tell you guys, if I would have known what you guys have today here and what you've been learning about ergonomics, I would probably be in better shape than I am now for my own self. And I think I'm doing okay, but I would have been better if someone would have pushed that for me. Righty. Cool.
One more question, sorry. For the carpal tunnel like syndrome, except using the weight, why is that big?
This is instead of joke.
Okay. Do you recommend anything that you can do without the like weight or like?
So the weight is just an external support more resistance. You can do the whole motions without using weight. Yeah, so you can do this, this, this. Open and closing your hands really fast. Do them slow, squeezing. Okay.
So are you saying because you don't have weights at home?
I mean, I do have it, but I'm thinking in practice where cubicle while patient left and
Yeah.
body.
So if you tighten that muscle and raise, like resist, and pull down, and resist, so you create your own weight without having a weight. So all you guys just go like this and squeeze, 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 and pull like you're resisting yourself and pulling up. You can make your own weight.
Yeah.
And then push down, push down, push down, push down. But you're holding it against. You're doing it. You're making your own weight, and you can do that in the clinic.
And then if you have a band like this, you can put one foot on there, go like this. Do that same thing that I just taught you earlier. This. Okay. Or you can wrap it around. Like this. Go this way. This way. Okay. Same thing. Oh.
Anyone else? Okay, before, let's give Joseph a hand again.
Thank you.
I have a couple of people that missed forms that Barbara needs. Noi.
Request another one, bro.
Adrian.
Everything?
Okay.
Aileen, is she here? HIV? Jess, filled that out. AJ's in HIV. So we're cool.
These are the extras. This one here. I didn't get one.
Which one?
The form.
Did you already turn yours in?
Oh, wait, is it? Oh, wait, is it the one Barbara gave me
Yes.
last time? Oh, yeah, I did.
Okay. Okay, thank you. So, we are set we're done for today. Are there any clinical issues?
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Okay, so I got a couple of questions here. Go ahead. Oh, your jump drive. You got it. Never mind.
For the clinic finder checklist, do we have to have every single thing?
So that's a good question. Clinic binder checklist. You don't have to have every single thing. Those are just suggestions. You may have more than that and different things. But, you know, like some of the Spanish helps. You might have different ones than Sunshine has. But you have some. Did you guys get this? So, did you have a question, Jessica? Who was it?
Oh, did you? Yeah. So for our patients, if I had a patient scheduled for like all of my scheduled clinics before that, can I bring someone in on a day I'm not scheduled?
Okay, here's the thing. What's happening is you're all trying to get your adult prophy patients in. I understand that. If you don't have any more openings to screen somebody, like you're full, the first option you have is if you have not seen that patient before, you saw that announcement, if you have not seen a patient before that's already scheduled with you, you can have Jeanette move that patient to somebody else who has an opening on that day, so you can screen your patient. The second thing is, if you have seen this patient and this is their second appointment, we're not moving patients around. They have an appointment, they're scheduled, whatever else. The third is, if Jessica B has an opening and I'm seeing a patient I'm seeing for the second time, but I want to screen, I need a patient to screen for my adult prophy, Jess can do it for me. And then get a pre-approval form, and all I'm going to do is scale on that day, scale, polish, and floss. So you can help each other doing that, but I don't want you to come in on extra days, because what's happening is we get everybody coming in. Like last Monday was a nightmare. We had sealants, we had 2 faculty out, and we're stuck. So do not take the time to come in on another day that you're not scheduled, because we're short faculty right now. Mrs. Armstrong's out, as you well know, for her surgery. And then Mrs. Hayton is out because she had a knee replacement. So she will be out till the end of the quarter. Mrs. Armstrong is indefinite, we don't know. So we have people people that are going, that are out. That's making it short.
So you're not sure if it's our chance to be back up
We don't know.
Okay.
Okay. The second thing is a couple of issues that have come up. I want to be sure that when you're having an interaction with your patient, that you are making sure that you're keeping your voice to yourself in your cubicle. People 2 rows over shouldn't be able to hear you updating a medical history or giving OHI or doing any of those types of things. And it's not just one person. There's many of you that are doing that too loud. So remember, this is sensitive information. It's HIPAA. And so faculty asked me to bring that up too because they could hear people doing that today, even in clinic. All right. Any other issues that have been going on that you're finding you're having a hard time with? Competencies, you know you can get anesthesia competencies in...
Oh, I need to clarify something.
Okay, go
I did
ahead.
it in the oral surgery.
Okay,
And they give you, I did 2 IAs, dominant, non-dominant. They give you only 1.
why?
That's what he told me. I did 8 injections. He gave me 1 of each kind.
Okay, we need to talk to him because you should be able to get 2.
I
Who
hope
was it?
so. The Dr. B.
Boyko?
Yes.
Okay. You know, I used to work for Dr. Boyko. I used to be his dental assistant a long time ago when I was in hygiene school. So,
I think he's there tomorrow. We're gonna try to.
I'm going on vacation tomorrow. I get on a plane.
Where you going?
Talk to Ms. Lennon and have her talk to Dr. Boyko. Okay. Yes.
So what's happening?
It's alright, bro.
That's okay, I know.
So for him, you just
Zone out, I zone out.
you just send the patient.
Did you tell him how long it's going to take? Like 4 hours?
I didn't tell him how long.
You need to contact him and let him know that he needs to come in the first appointment.
Yeah, I
will
told
be-
him on Friday morning.
Okay,
That's the only time.
and then the cleaning appointment is going to be anywhere between 3 and 4 hours.
Okay.
Oh, I thought that one was only 2.
Well, you get 2 hours to scale, polish, and floss, but you also have to do health history, vitals, EOIO, and all of that, so that's going to
On the
take...
second day?
No, yeah, you have to do all of that stuff.
So could
You
that
see
be
my
an
bonus
OHI?
No,
You saw my
no
bonus?
competency. We're grading portfolios.
I gave you some
For
bonus.
that one, are we?
Think about it. Did you have one, Christina? No,
No.
Christine, sorry.
So,
Ash pass.
for
I gave you
the
some
second
bonus.
day, are we gonna have someone sitting there watching us do the scaling, or
No.
are they just gonna come and check?
They're going to come and check. We're going to be grading portfolios, and we'll talk about that.
Every time I look at you.
Stop. Okay, Lucille.
Or if I already have someone scheduled to do a screening on a day that I'm not, because I have a patient that I have to see on next, under a second, third patient, can I just, on this Friday morning?
So you can't do that, but because the patient is scheduled already, I will allow that. But we're short faculty, so. Just,
And
are you ready to?
yes.
Am I that distracting?
My big said that she was suggesting to polish first when doing the prophy patient exam.
We're going to talk about that because
Okay.
I'm doing a whole lecture on what to expect for the dental prophy coming up. So.
And what if my patient doesn't qualify on Friday? And that's the only time I have a clinic day open, which I don't even know if I have a patient because my VPN is not working.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do this. How many of you do not have a potential adult prophy patient?
Plus 8 days.
Or one that doesn't, we don't know if it's qualified yet?
Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ooh, okay.
No, oh, and AJ.
Okay, so what I want you to do, those of you that don't have patients, stay after. I'll give you some names and phone numbers to contact and see if they would be willing. Okay, because they've been used before. I have some names of some people that we could possibly use. I've brought in several of my friends, so they're patients here.
Case presentation, if we haven't had any sightings.
Yeah, that's another thing
I like have
really
not
want
had
to do.
anybody like crazy.
Okay, so let me give you an example. I'm going to use Sabine, because Sabine came to my office on Monday and she said, I have a patient kind of, and I said, or you said you didn't have a patient. She didn't have a patient, and I said, Sabine, you have a patient. We started talking about a patient that she had early on, and I explained to her what happened. This thing is so irritating.
So annoying.
Can we not turn that speaker off? So she had a patient, I'm going to just share a little bit, that was, how do I want to say this? Inappropriate with her. But she still has to see this patient. Not as a patient, but he's her neighbor. So there's a lot of juxta stuff going on, and how to be able to maintain professionalism when she was here, and how to maintain being a nice neighbor without having him bother her outside. So I told her, there's your case right there. It's something that you learn something valuable that you're going to take with you from here on out. It doesn't have to be some fancy, complicated medical history. Go back and look at the patients. I gave you 3 examples, and they're 3 different examples. One's medically compromised, the other one is emotionally abused, both emotional and physical abuse. So anytime you came at her with an instrument, she just didn't, any type of patient, either fear or something that you had to do differently to overcome or help the patient overcome, you can use that type of patient.
What if it's a ped patient? Can we use a ped or no?
Talk to me about it, and we'll see if that's something that we want you to use.
Because I don't have any other patients that have been anything interesting.
Nothing, not at all, complicated medical history, something that you felt nervous about. Ariana, who are you using for your case?
My brother.
Okay, so Ariana's using her brother, and she's had a struggle trying to get him to even brush his teeth. So she's been working with him at home and trying to see the value of it, and the light bulb has just come on for him, and he is so excited now about trying to take care of it. So it's just something, he has no complicated medical history, no anything, but that's a good case for her. So like I said, you probably have a case somewhere in your back pocket, someone that you've seen. See who you get next week, and hopefully you'll have something. Okay, Rachel.
Yeah, I told you about you said it might be like a little bit short.
So what I want you, shy on information, meaning can you answer those 5 questions thoroughly? Because you had such a short interaction with that patient that I don't know if you have enough information to answer those questions.
Okay.
If it is, go ahead and use it.
All right.
But look at the samples that I gave you and see if you have someone like that
Okay.
in your family. Anyone else? Clinically? Yes.
I'm concerned about getting my OHI comp because all of my patients I finished in one sitting.
So if you finish your patient at OHI and they're willing to come back, you can have them come back in for the OHI too. Okay, that's a possibility too. They don't, like Sabine did that today. She had a patient just came in for OHI 2. And then at 10 o'clock, she screened her adult prophy patient. Bam.
What if they don't want to do that though?
Yeah.
They may not. Just say, this is what I need for graduation in order to pass in September. Would you be willing?
So like if they won't though, like what can we do?
So then what will happen is your comps are, I believe it's 25% of your grade or 30, 25 or 30. You will have 11 out of 12 competencies. So it's only 25% and you have 11 out of 12. And so it's not going to make a huge difference where you're not going to fail. However, you must have that completed by the end of the fall quarter. Okay? Yep. Yep. So we give you that time. We want you to finish because then I can put a pass. Otherwise, I have to leave you in process. And you get an incomplete for my course. I don't want you to do that because those of you who are looking for Dean's List, I don't want to have to do that because you need that course if you're incomplete.
If we don't get that one comp,
Um,
or if we don't get that comp.
I have to go back and look at my syllabus, but Yeah, I need to double check that. Go look at your syllabus. She's asking if she doesn't get that one comp, does that keep her incomplete? And I believe it does, but let's look at the syllabus and double check it. I have rarely had people not finish. So those of you that have some of these patients, share. How many of you having problems with injections? So just a few. Have you brought in family and friends?
No.
Okay, that's when you're gonna do it. I had one Monday, knocked out 5 injections on their family member. So they finished everything for the quarter.
I tried that one time, but I was only allowed to do one.
Same here.
For a family member. That's why I brought it in.
Same here.
One?
Yeah.
Come talk to me and tell me who that was. Okay. You should be able to do because you're supposed to be able to do 2 or 3, but we're getting towards the end of the quarter, so I'm allowing you guys to do a little bit more if you're not getting the full cartridge. And people say, well, how many can I do? Let's say you're doing it on a patient that really needs it. How many can I do? It depends. If you're doing an IA, that's a full cartridge. If you're doing a bunch of little infiltrations and you're using an eighth, that you could do more of those than you could with a full cartridge of an IA. So you should be able to get them. So you have family members coming in, correct?
Well, I'm planning on bringing some of them.
Okay.
No one has said yes.
Okay. Tell them you need it
I know.
to pass. Okay. And so Monina, do you have other family members to?
Well, I have one more, but I hope I can finish it off with that one.
Okay. All right. Anyone else? Gannon's brought in, so you should be able to get some on your brother.
Yeah, but that won't be till next, that won't be until his next visit.
When is that?
I have to check my schedule. I can't see my schedule to see when I can.
Okay. Let's talk. Come on into my office and we'll find you someone.
So if we're full and Jeanette has it booked out, but we want to bring someone in, that's a no-no.
You can, if somebody else doesn't have a patient and she can move, or their patient canceled, you can move somebody around. If you haven't seen that patient before. Yes, ma'am.
I think I might have just other patients that might be willing to come in that are
Adult
dental
prophy?
students. Or one of them's attending, what program is it? Nursing.
Okay, so those of you share, if you've got other people or other family members, share with each other so they can take their adult prophy too with you guys. So if you go ahead and talk to her, she'll be able to set you up. Okay. Anyone else having issues or problems with competencies?
Just the FMX, it's hard to like find an FMX. That's another thing.
Okay, so the FMX, I'm gonna just tell you, the FMX before last year was you had to get a full competency. But we were finding that they were difficult to do because now we have more ALARA stuff and we're doing PANS and bite wings that we decided, and I didn't decide this, the radiology department decided that they were going to be able to give you halves. So you may not get a full, but if you piece together a bunch of halves, you should be able to do that. Especially those of you that have gone to the wellness center. How many of you gone there and gotten comps? Okay, AJ, Rachel, Megan, Maddie. So talk to some of these people. And I know a lot of them have posted how to do it, how to put it in your computer, how to get it going. So I've read through all of those.
It's when you go to the wellness center and the way that they do it, a lot of the time they're like, oh no, we're not gonna diagnose or write out an FMX, we want a panel of bite wings.
Okay.
And it's really hard to get it.
Okay.
And just even trying to attempt it.
Okay.
Like I did it today and I know I didn't even get a half a competency. It was very difficult to do.
So here's what I would do. Talk to Miss Withers and tell her the problem that you're having because she may be able to have some pull on the radiology side. I don't. I just have the one competency for my course because you're going to need to have 2 more every quarter, I believe, coming out. So let's talk with them and see if we can start a dialogue with them. Okay.
Well, because I talked to Elaine this morning too, because I have my block, and she said the dental students now need 5 comps for FMXs, so that's why even when we try to get them from the dental students, like I know Adrian asked a dental student, and she about bit her head off when she asked her. She's like, we need our own comps, and like was yelling at her, and she's like, don't even ask us.
Wow.
I had that happen to me too. I have a quick comment though. I learned that on the lights, if they have a red tag on the lights in the wellness clinic, they don't need an FMX. So look for the cubicles that don't have a red tag, and then ask the dental student if their patient will need radiographs because they most likely will need.
What do you mean red tag?
There's like a red sticker
Like a
on the
piece of
light.
tape.
Putting
Something
on
on
the
the
light.
light.
Okay.
Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah, no red light.
So anything that does not have a red sticker on it, they're likely going to need an FMX. Or some x-rays, radiographs. They're going to need
Just ask
radiographs.
to see if they want to do an FMX, because some of them just need PAs. So, so just ask.
Yeah. And then, well, it's kind of hard because some of the dental students were like, well, I was kind of hoping I would take it because I needed to. So it's like, well, I don't want to get away your
That's fine too, I understand.
Explain what a half is again.
So go back
Well, I've read it,
into
but
my
I
post.
feel like I don't understand.
Okay.
75% is half.
Oh, so
85% is a full FMC.
But there's a certain number. No, you can do a certain amount, like I did 4 PAs, no, okay, what did I do? I did bite wings and then like a couple PAs. What's the number?
I don't know.
And that counted as half, even though it wasn't like.
Really?
I didn't do
I
any.
think it's more than
I didn't know that.
Bite wings, and then a couple PAs.
Yeah.
I got graded at like
75 and I only got half.
That's true.
Yeah.
So
Or you
it's
can
based
have
on the
that
grade.
way, or you can get
Yeah.
half my way if it's 85% or above.
How
So,
many do you need?
I think.
I posted it on my announcements.
10?
See if you can, I think it's maybe 10 films.
Yeah,
Okay.
because I did.
Play some Clash Clans. You know?
AJ?
I was just looking at that. I tried doing it standing and I was much more comfortable than sitting. Just because sometimes I are running we're in close quarters. So is it okay to do it standing from now on?
I like standing.
Like I can't even move around.
I understand. I understand. Are any of the cubicles suitable
No.
for you?
Honestly. I always get cubicle 107, which is in the corner. And luckily, I usually get it when I don't have a patient, but it's a very tight space. So I think for someone who doesn't have a patient, you should be scheduled in that cubicle.
Can you email me so I can forward that to Jeanette? And then I'll tell Jeanette, hey, if somebody doesn't have a patient, schedule them here.
Because I had a patient there once, and I was just so like,
Okay.
yeah.
Thank you. And it's, we're new here too. I don't remember these things from 10 years ago. So. Okay. Anybody else? Any more clinical issues, Rachel?
Yeah, for the tops for sealants and air polishing, I talked to Barbara and she said we were supposed to get it if we went in block.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
But we didn't fill out the block sheet.
Yep, and we're gonna have probably the faculty fill that out or get them all filled out for you guys, so.
Okay.
Yeah, they should have had you guys do that in that block, but they didn't.
They told us not to do the green sheet, but if we were only the assistant.
Correct.
So we didn't do anything around that?
There's an air polishing one that they just needed to sign. And I think Ms. Z, and we're just gonna hand them all, or we're gonna figure them out because maybe you need to have her sign all those, and Ms. Bidala. And if you just get them, fill out the air polishing form, that would be easiest. Okay, let's do this. If you've been through sealant block already and did the air polishing, fill out an air polishing competency form with the patient, the chart number, and who was your patient's chart number, the date, all of that stuff. And have Ms. Z or Ms. Bidala sign it. And then you can turn it in as your competency so that Barbara can record it for
That's
you.
for air polishing?
Air polishing.
Okay, not snails will be done.
No. Yeah. Anyone else?
Also, I'm looking on the syllabus for like if you don't get one competency, if it's incomplete, I can't find it.
Okay. I'll have to talk to Ms. Wilkins and Ms. Marshall and see how she wants to handle that.
Okay.
I'll get back to you. Hillary.
So if you want to do the injection at the oral surgery, who should we talk to?
Dr. Boyko or Moretta?
They have to see
Only those two. Boyko and Moretta. Boyko's there on Thursdays.
I believe so.
Yeah. Maddie?
For treating a patient, what standard of time are we trying to shoot for? Going from vitals to health history to EOIO to data collection and polishing? Because time management is very hard to
So here's the
determine
deal.
from each
What
professor.
I told you in the very beginning is every patient case is different. For example, I have a patient, simple prophy, but then the patient has a lesion. We now need an FMX or not an FMX, but a PA. Now we need a consult with an endodontist. But then Brian has a patient, he has a perineal maintenance. He's charting 4s and above, and he beats you. But you have a simple prophy. It's all the extenuating circumstances that are happening that's making your appointment different. So everyone's different. So shooting for just moving through the process in a timely manner, meaning if it's not too complicated, you should be able to be close to, by the end of the quarter, be close to finishing in one appointment, close to. Some of you are doing it, some of you are not, and that's okay. But let's say you're just doing 4s and above and you're doing this and now you have a gagger. I don't expect you to finish if you can't. So there's lots of things that are going on that are doing that, but as long as you're moving through the process and working through that, you're not taking an hour and a half to do medical history. Now some of you have taken an hour and a half to do medical history early on, but you shouldn't have to do that now. You should be able to be on it a little faster. So there's no time, I mean, just shooting for trying
Well,
to...
say if you finish at 11:15 and I think as a class we've all improved by 25 minutes because we start at 8:10 now and then we have to be patient out of the chair at 11:15. Are we supposed to shoot for a shorter time? Because I got docked and I finished right on time.
Why did you get docked?
She
Did they
wanted-
feel like you should have moved faster through the process?
I
mean, I
asked
don't know.
her- She says, you finished on time, but I want you to be faster. But I didn't know, when I was working on my patient, she had a lot of, I did finish the second OHI comp. I did injections. She was very sensitive. I was using Orikix, and it was very hard for me to finish, like to get going, because she was like, oh, ow. Like, you know, I had to compensate for the patient, but
So
I pushed myself to finish at 11:15.
Okay, and that's awesome. I can't say because I don't know what was going on, but maybe it was a patient management issue a little bit. I don't know. Should you have gone straight to injections rather than Orikix? I don't know what happened in that situation. And maybe you tried this, but you really should have gone to there. Ariana, we did the same thing today. She fought and fought and fought with her brother, and instead of trying to give him injections, and she kept asking him, can I get you numb? And he's like, no, I can do it. And he was, I would have said, this is what I need to do. In order for me to get to the base of that pocket and do a thorough job, I need to get you numb. Period. That's how it works. This is what we need to do. No, do you want an injection? What are they gonna say? No. Okay, if you need to go straight to that, go straight to that. I'm not saying everyone's that. There are a lot of people at Orikix it works fine. But a lot of people it doesn't. And you need to go straight there.
I think just in my clinic day, we were short on teachers, and my teacher was overbooked with students.
All of
I
us
couldn't
were
really-
Monday, that was Monday, it was a nightmare. Yeah. So, okay, yes.
Question. I know some of us want cleanings. Can we get on each other's schedules?
Yes.
Okay.
You can. So they're asking, can we be in each other's schedule for cleaning? Yes. However, you need to pay. It's $27 because you have no account now. Okay, it's $27.
Well, how about the insurance?
So risk.
Oh, sorry, you have insurance.
Oh, okay,
I'm sorry,
okay.
you have insurance. So yes, it's covered. Yes, my apologies. You have risk, and that will cover 2 cleanings a year. So you can get one now and get one right before you graduate.
Can we use each other for injections?
No comps.
Aw.
What are you going to teach somebody OHI.
What if some,
Wait, why not injections though?
We should think about that.
Wait, why not
Why can we
injections?
not do injections on our partner if they're still considered a patient?
Because there's been a no competency policy for classmates.
So we can't do the Profi comp on each other?
No. Yeah, no.
Oh, you can go to her after, she has names to contact if you need a Profi patient.
Okay.
Yeah, and Emily has patients too, so you guys get with Emily too and see how that works.
we can still do after comp.
The only one is FMX comps.
You need
You can't do
X-rays?
FMX comps.
Alright.
Yes.
You clean my teeth too?
So, did you guys hear that? You can do an FMX comp on each other. Radiology has agreed that you could do that. Here's why you can't do an adult prophy. Because when you're exploring for calculus, your patient knows, hey, there's calculus there. Go back, scale that.
I won't do that. I'll be nice. Sorry.
I'm going to tell you that's how I passed my board. My patient would tell me, no, there's still some more, smooth that up. They talked me through my paperwork. I'm so thankful. So that's why you can't do that for your adult prophy. Yeah, because they know what you're doing. Sorry.
I have a question.
Anyone
What
else?
about the injections?
So let's say somebody, let's say Nana already has an FMX done. Can I still do an FMX on him? Or-
Laura.
Okay.
But it's not like their personal opinion, like, oh, it's okay. if I
No,
get
Dr.
exposed.
Jewel has to approve it, and you'll get her to approve it.
Sweet pop.
I don't know. Okay, those of you that came back from HIV, we have these things here, your CDHA cards, so stop by. Yes?
So what if they spelled his name wrong on the CDH? They put Paolo.
Talk to Barbara.
That's so bad.
Have a good night.
You wanna go study, bro?
Yeah.
Where you wanna go? Wanna go to the dome or you wanna go to Panera? If you go to Panera, you buy my coffee because I'm broke.